Hey everyone, today we're talking about two very different movies. The first one is Triangle of Sadness, directed by Robert Östlund, who is a Swedish director. And I think the movie is partly Swedish, partly American. This movie was the big winner of the Cannes Film Festival last year. It won the Palme d'Or, which is like the Best Picture award for that film festival. And it's actually nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture. So three of the big ones. And many people say it should have been nominated for even more awards. This movie tells the story of two models, a male model and a female model, that have a relationship. They're kind of a couple, but not really. They're kind of in love, but not really. They have this really weird relationship, to be honest, that is basically based on the number of followers she has and the number of pool he, the pool he has also, and his demographic, let's say. And these two go on a cruise with a bunch of very, very, very wealthy people, and a storm just makes everything go to shit. Literal shit, which is actually very shocking. And they get stranded on an island, and it's very reminiscent of those reality shows where famous people are stranded on an island and they have to survive, and one of them wins everything, all the money and all of that. And it's very interesting how Robert Östlund managed to make a movie about the social clash, about the differences of wealth, about the dominance of the very, very, very rich, the 1%, and the ones that are below deck, the 99%. And it's very interesting how he makes them collide into each other, and how he makes a lot of social observations and social social clashes in every sense of the word, because it gets insane in this movie. I won't spoil anything, but man, does it go insane. And I think Robert Östlund really deserves his nomination for Best Director, because he directs some scenes that I don't think every single director could pull off. There's this scene in a banquet that held by the captain of the ship, portrayed by Woody Harrelson, who is whack. I mean, he's a drunk, and it's very funny because everything is in motion, literally in motion, and in motion in the screenplay. There's this storm, and there's these people talking about very different subjects. There's people that are sick because of the movement of the boat. The captain is drunk as hell. And people just go insane. And there's so many people in this banquet, and there's so many things happening. Robert Östlund does a fantastic job directing scenes like this, and also the scenes that involve maybe one, maybe two characters are really well directed. I was very surprised by him, and I know he has a couple of hits in the past, mainly Swedish movies, and in Swedish, of course. So I hope this really brings him more into the forefront, hopefully making more films in Swedish, but also in English, in order to really bridge the gap between that European sensibility that actually wants to talk about society, about societal issues in a different way, because we've seen American films do this, but they never go as far as they should go, and I think this movie does. However, I have to say that some parts of the screenplay are very predictable and don't really make much sense, but I don't think Robert Östlund really cares about that. He just wants to do a crazy movie and make it very exaggerated in order to talk about these issues, the issues of when someone that has never had power having power. And that's a really a complicated transformation, and a very shocking transformation. What I think is very interesting in this movie too is that you think that maybe the 99% people are going to be the kind people, the better people. But what I think is very funny is that he really portrays how society is, and he basically says everyone in society is a piece of shit. Everyone in society is capable of the worst things you can imagine. They can do whatever they want in order to be on top. And that's what we see in this movie. There's no good character in this. Not good in being good. There's no one like that in this movie. No one is really kind in this movie. Everyone is horrible. Every single person. If you think there is, you should really watch it again, because everyone is a piece of shit. Everyone is trying to step on the other person in order to get ahead, and that's very real, to be honest, very honest. And I think movies like this should be made, because it makes it very satirical, very dark comedy, if you will, which is easier to process, if you will, because if it was a drama with this tone of everyone is awful, it would be pretty shocking, and maybe people wouldn't respond as well as they are responding to this movie being, funny and everything. I think the ending is a little bit, it's predictable and also a kind of too shocking. I mean, it could have ended in so many ways, to be honest. But I mean, that's the way he decided to end it. I think that the performances are fine. Many people are praising Dolly De Leon for her performance as one of the below deck people. And I have to say that although I do appreciate her performance, I don't see it being top five of the year. I mean, never mind the Oscars. I don't think she's that good in the role, and I think many other people could have done so much more in the role, or bring some other flavor. I think she's good, but I don't think she's that good, to be honest. So I'm not mad she wasn't nominated for an Academy Award, to be honest. She's good, but not that good. And as of the other actors, again, Woody Harrelson is doing Woody Harrelson. He's very funny. He's kind of funny as he is, He's just Woody Harrelson. And as of the other people, I mean, the ones in the couple, the girl, the woman, I mean, she does look like a model, so that's good. And she is a model, I think, but she's fine. And the guy, my problem with the guy that plays like the male model is that he doesn't look like a male model. Is he gorgeous? Of course, he has a great body. That's obvious. But we lose that after the first scene, and I don't see him as a male model at all. I think they should have gone even further. They should have hired someone who's like big and kind of female-like, kind of male-like, very androgynous but very imposing. I would have thought of so many other male models. I mean, just look at male models pictures on Google, and you will see tons of guys that will have done a much better job, to be honest. But I do appreciate that he has experience in movies like this, and that he does pull off some of the scenes, and his very weird personality, because that guy is just insane. I mean, he's crazy. He's so annoying. So I appreciated that, at least. I think this is a fantastic movie. I don't know how many times you could watch this movie, because it's really heavy on your mind. You're like, oh my god, this is happening. But it's very funny, and all the supporting actors are fantastic. They filmed this on the yacht that Aristotle Onassis gave to Jackie Kennedy, which is like mind-blowing. I think they rent the yacht for different things, but it's kind of amazing that they actually use such a place. So I think it's fantastic, and I think it's very fun, and you shouldn't miss this movie at all. The second movie I want to talk about is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That's difficult to say very fast. And this is an animated film in the sense that it's stop motion, the main character and some other smaller characters, let's say. But it's also a live action movie. So there's a stop motion and there's live action at the same time. And it's also kind of a fake documentary on top of it. So it's very interesting because it mashes up different sides of the movie spectrum, let's say, and brings it into a nice little story about a shell that lives in a house that's currently used as an Airbnb, and he tells his story to a documentarian that comes to stay in that Airbnb, and he tells them about his daily life and how he misses his family because he lost them because of the people that used to live there, and he's very innocent, but very innocent in a very fun way, because he's just innocent enough that you just go on the ride with him. It's so amazing that a shell with one eye gives you so much emotion and so much depth in of feelings. I mean, I almost cried in some scenes because I was like, oh my god, poor little Marcel, he's so alone and everything, and you buy it. I think the voice performance by Jenny Slate is fantastic, and Dean Fleischer Camp, who is the director, who is the guy in the movie, actually the documentarian, and he was in the original short films that were all uploaded into YouTube, which are the base for this movie. He actually does a great job in the screenplay too of creating the world of Marcel and make it really a really contained movie, but at the same time a movie that talks about how it is to deal with death, how it is to deal with with loss, how it is to deal with knowing new people and trying to open yourself up to new things in order to, you know, grow a little bit and change a little bit, and try to uh, keep the pace, you know, keep on living and trying not to get down by life, basically. And I think that's so beautiful about this movie. I was really, really moved, and I was surprised how profound it is and how simple the movie is, because it's basically filmed in one set, the whole movie, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. Of course, there's also the voice of Isabella Rossellini as his grandmother, as the Marcel's grandmother. And you know, when you have someone like that, someone who has that personality, it has to be good. I mean, Isabella Rossellini just doesn't do shit. She does amazing stuff, and this is one of those amazing things that she has done. The voice is amazing. Jenny Slate again. She also, you know, wrote the screenplay and created the characters, original characters in the original short films. So that's amazing. I'm very surprised by her, especially because she was in SNL, and she was like in one season, and it was like, why wasn't she in more seasons? She's very funny. I have seen movies with Jenny Slate, and she's always on point. I mean, she's always so fantastic, and I hope this movie helps her, you know, move her career forward and do more movies and do more writing, because she's incredibly talented. So I'm really happy for everyone in this movie, and I'm really happy that stop motion and this mashup of different genres really brings movies forward. This is not only about an animation. This is not only about someone moving a little thing and doing no, this is more. This is a mashup of so many things, and this is bringing TV, bringing internet, bringing so many things into one movie, into one character, into one interaction between two people that have met, and that have realized that meeting has changed their lives. And that's what happens between Marcel and the documentarian. I'm so in love with this movie, and I mean, if there was any justice, I think this movie would win the animated feature film Oscar. Sadly, it won't, because, you know, Pinocchio is a little bit too big. It's by Netflix. You know, there's always kind of these movie politics, but this movie is amazing. It's so beautiful and profound and just great. So please watch it. Please watch Triangle of Sadness. Comment down below whatever you thought about these movies, and please give a like and enjoy film. Enjoy movies, because there are so many good ones. Thank you so much. Goodbye.